Hi, my name is Alex, and this is my 1-year eye improvement video update. About 1 year ago, January of 2018, I started the Endmyopia reduced lens method journey to improve my eyesight. And it's actually been going very well. I've had a lot better improvements than I was, led to expect through this method. I started out with -3 in my left eye and -3.75 in my right eye with a 0.25 astigmatism in the right eye. This is my current correction. It's 1.25 in the right eye and 1 in the left eye. No astigmatism correction in either eye. When I first started this journey without my glasses, from 20 feet away, I was not able to read the big E on the Snellen chart. Now, without my glasses, I can read, probably for sure, I for sure can read line 4 with no issues, sometimes line 5. If I'm really lucky with active focus, I can even read maybe like the line 7, which is the 2025. So for sure though, I can consistently read the 2050 line without any glasses. And now finally, this is really exciting, outdoors on like a really sunny day without wearing any glasses, I can pretty much active focus to 2020. And you hear me saying active focus. Active focus is kind of hard to describe. It actually took me a few months to get it down. It's basically where you look at something that's blurry, just out of your vision. You can't quite see it clearly, but it's close. You kind of close your eyes, relax, open. At least that's how I do it, and get it to clear up. Basically, you're getting your ciliary muscle to relax and just focus on these distant objects, because when you're looking at something up close, your ciliary muscle contracts and it bends the lens, and when you're looking at something far away, the muscle is relaxed, and it takes a bit of time to try and to get active focus down. Some people are able to do it right away. Even some people that I know that didn't have perfect eyesight were able to do it as soon as I explained to them how I do it. They were able to do it just instantly. It took me a little longer than that. It took me a few months to get that. And part of that was because I, kind of did it off and on. Because at first, when I first started this journey, I wasn't completely sure that it would work. Obviously, a bit of skepticism, but it all made sense to me, and it all sounded right. And there's a lot of science to back it up. And I'm actually gonna link in the description to Endmyopia.org, and then also, which is pretty much the source I got all this information from, but also, and that's all free. They have tons of free resources on the website, on the blog, and then also the Facebook group. And then Jake Steiner also has a whole bunch of YouTube videos. He runs Endmyopia. I think the reason that part of the reason it took me quite a while is it took me a bit of time to get rid of my ciliary spasm, which is actually, ciliary spasm is kind of the reason that just about everyone ends up getting glasses for myopia. So when you look at something really close, that, like I said earlier, that muscle is strained. So when you look at something really close, that muscle in your eye that focuses is working really hard to bend that lens to look at the thing up close. When you're looking at something far away, it's relaxed. But when you're looking at something up close, it's really strained. And if you do it for long periods of time, it's like the same effect of, let's say you're lifting weights, you hold a weight in one position for a really long time, and when you set that weight down, you're not going to be able to extend your arm out all the way. It's pretty much the exact thing. If you're ciliary muscle is stuck in that position for a long period of time, and then you try to look at something far away, if you've been looking at something too close for too long, it's not going to be clear, because that muscle just needs, pretty much it needs time to relax. It needs breaks. You can't just look at something up close for extended periods of time. And then when you get glasses, what that does is it pushes the image, glasses for myopia, it pushes the image further back in your eye, which compensates for the ciliary muscle not relaxing. Problem with that is, though, when you look at something up close, it's that much closer because the glasses are pushing it closer. So when you're looking at something here, it's like you're looking at it even closer because the glasses are pushing the image further back in your eye, too far back for the ciliary muscle to necessarily compensate for, which creates hyperopic defocus where the image is too far back in your eye, even to a level that's maybe not perceivable to you, but your eyes notice. They're like, hey, this isn't right here. I need to grow longer to compensate, grow longer to fix that. You see where the problem is. That's why people's eyes keep getting worse when they wear glasses. It's from looking at things up close, primarily while wearing your glasses. It can also happen to a degree without glasses, but glasses accelerate it and can take it to much higher levels than it could have otherwise. So a lot of times what I'll do, and I don't do this as much anymore because I actually, walking around the house, I hardly wear my glasses anymore because my eyes are finally to the point where I can see things. And it's like possible to walk around without just getting frustrated that I can't see everything. I would put my glasses just like this. So I could look up and I could see things through my glasses, but if I wanted to look at something not through my glasses, like my phone, for example, I actually don't have my phone on me, but if I want to look at my phone, just look like this. I look up, I'm looking at something far away, I'm looking through my glasses, look back down at my phone, and I'm not looking through my glasses. So I used to do that a lot. Like I said, I don't really do it as much anymore. I'm actually to the point now where I sometimes wear my glasses around the house, but I usually just wear them when I'm driving or watching TV or something. That's another thing. When I'm watching TV, I always use the subtitles. I active focus on the subtitles, and that's how I know that I'm seeing it at its clearest. With TV, sometimes it's pretty hard for me to tell if it's 100% crisp without actually seeing that text on the TV. So this reduction, the 1 in my left eye and 1.25 in my right eye, is, I believe, my 7th reduction. This is my pile of old glasses. I also have my pair that I've been wearing for a few years before I started all of this in here too. Most of these pairs now, if I put these on, like, it's crazy strong, like way too strong, and it does not feel good. It feels really bad to put on such strong glasses. I also used to have to wear differentials when I first started, which generally is 1.5 diopters weaker than your normal distance correction. So I would wear those anytime I was on the computer. That's, mostly what I do for a living, fix computers. So anytime I was working on a computer, I would wear those, because if I wasn't wearing my glasses, I could not see what I was doing, and if I was wearing my full correction, it would be overcorrected, and I would actually be creating the hyperopic defocus, which is where the image gets pushed too far back in your eye, which is negative stimulus. So basically the idea is to always be at like the edge of blur. Like, you always want to have a certain level of challenge. You don't want it to be too much though. You can't just stop wearing your glasses. If you just stop wearing your glasses, then everything's just blurry, you get blur adaptation, and you don't improve that way. I actually first kind of got into this eye improvement thing because I went to the optometrist in December of 2016, and I got a correction. That's when I got the correction of -3, -3.75 with 0.25 astigmatism. I actually went there because I had a floater in my right eye, which is my worst eye, the one that had the 3.75. And I went there to see if it was something I needed to be concerned about, and I was really surprised that he told me that I needed a higher correction than what I was wearing, because I always kind of felt like, you know, every time I got a new correction, I didn't feel like I needed it, and it was always just a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more every year growing up when I would go to the optometrist. And it was the same thing this time. It was, even though, some 6-7 years had passed since the last time that I'd been to the optometrist, it was the exact same story. Instead of 1 year difference though, it was like 6 or 7 years, just a little bit more. And it wasn't even like, there was nothing with those glasses I was wearing, there was nothing I could not read that I should be able to read. I could see 20/20 with those corrections, but I was told I needed something stronger. And I was told I had an astigmatism. And I do remember when I first got glasses, and I know this is not the case for everyone. Some people, when they get glasses, they genuinely are having a hard time seeing things because their ciliary muscle spasm is just that bad. But when I got glasses, I remember being surprised that they said that I needed glasses. I didn't think I needed them. And I remember when I was sitting in the chair as the lady was adjusting my glasses, I looked out the window and I looked at a business, had a sign, you know, their business logo or whatever across the street, and I was reading it, just kind of like a little bit of a vision test. And I could read it without my glasses, and then and I thought it looked really clear. But then the lady handed my glasses back to me to put on and see if they were straight or whatever. And I looked back up and I was like, oh, okay, like that's definitely clear. I guess my eyes are bad. I do need glasses. And you know, I probably did have some degree of ciliary muscle spasm at that time, but it wasn't very bad. The vast majority of children that are given glasses for myopia do not need them. What they really need is less screen time, take frequent breaks from close-up work, and go outside. Look at something far away occasionally. Not so much time on the iPads and cell phones and things like that. So over the past year, I've had a lot of really fun milestones. When I first started, I had like I got a street sign that I look at every single day. I can see it from any of the front windows from our house. And you know, when I go to get the mail, I look at it. So every single day I look at that street sign and try to clear it up. And it kind of also, because it's consistent, it's a consistent distance, it's really far away, it's a good thing to look at when I'm taking a break from close-up time, and it's a good thing to look at to give me a judge of whether I've been doing too much close-up and I've got a little bit of ciliary spasm. It just kind of gives me a good idea of when I'm ready to get new glasses too. Because I know what level of clarity that I generally have with that sign from that distance, and of course lighting has a big effect on that as well. But I look at that sign a lot. 22nd Street. Also, the mailbox. When I get mail, there's a little yellow flag thing that pops up to tell me that the mail has arrived, the mail is in the mailbox. When I first started this, see, when I'm working on things, like even when I first started, when I was doing phone repairs, I didn't wear my glasses because that's super close up. I would check to see if I got the mail, and I wasn't wearing any glasses, and I absolutely could not tell if that flag was up. Like, there's just no way. And even wearing my differentials, which are the kind of weaker glasses that I would wear when I was working on something a little further away like a computer, That wasn't enough either. I still could not tell if the male was there. So I had to find wherever my normalized correction was so I could check and see if the male was here. But now I rarely wear any glasses at all. I no longer need differentials. And when I look outside with no glasses on, I can see if the little flag is up or not without any glasses. So that's a huge thing too. I run the words at church and for worship, and when I first started, I remember not really being able to read the words hardly at all without my glasses, or having a very difficult time with my differentials. I remember when I finally did get to the point where I could read them pretty well with my differentials, and I sit a little further away from the monitor there, so I wore my differentials at church longer than I did in other situations, but I could read the words with my differentials, and that was like this huge thing that I could read them so clearly. And now I can read them just fine without any glasses. I can even read the model of the piano that's sitting up at the front of the church. This whole vision improvement thing has really been a fun experience. Just seeing the improvement. I love how it's so measurable. Like, I can measure it in centimeters. I can measure it with what I can see with different levels of correction, and it's just a really fun journey, and making really good progress. The expected rate of progress is generally 0.25 diopters every 3 to 4 months. I have been, originally I was improving probably about that rate. A few months ago, I got like an electric unicycle, and I don't know, I just got really hardcore into vision improvement, even more than I had been, because I'd seen so much improvement. I just really got pumped. So I went really hard into just like lots of active focus, constantly active focusing. I would ride that electric unicycle around instead of driving, so I would have more active focus time, and my eyes improved really fast. I was going probably 0.25 diopters a month. I also did some changes to my diet at that time too. I don't know how much that helped. I think the biggest thing was just the extra stimulus of that. But then winter came. I had to stop riding my unicycle everywhere because it's like 3 degrees out right now and there's snow and ice everywhere. So I had to stop doing that, and also it gets dark really early and it's cloudy all the time. It's dark, kind of cloudy and dark right now, and it's just harder to improve in those conditions. I am still noticing improvement though. I've had this current correction for about a month and a half, which is the longest I've had correction for a while. But I am noticing improvement. I'm probably going to be ready to go down. My guess would be in another 3 to 4 weeks. I can probably move my correction down on my right eye, so that I'll have the same correction in both eyes. I actually think my left eye is probably ready to go down to 0.75, but I don't want to widen the gap between my eyes. I want to equalize. So I'm waiting for my right eye to catch up, because I've asked it to improve a lot more quickly than my left eye. So normally, like at the optometrist's office, glasses are pretty expensive, so something like this would be kind of a pretty expensive endeavor. But I actually I got all of these from zennyoptical.com. They were $12 a pair, and that includes the anti-reflective coating. Very affordable. And I got all the same frames so that I can swap lenses between the different frames, which is very helpful when you want to take a step to equalizing your correction. It's very easy to just take one of the lenses out, swap it out with a different frame, and then you can reduce the correction in just one of your eyes without having to order new frames and all of that stuff. To figure out your correction, I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail on this because to be honest, you really don't even want to start this journey until you've done hours and hours of research and completely understand what's going on. But just to give you like a really super condensed version of figuring out your correction, figuring out how many diopters you need is actually really easy. You can do it by just measuring how many centimeters you see until blur. I do it with a yardstick and like a business card, or who knows, I use a bunch of different things. You're supposed to keep using the same thing, but I keep losing my things. So just see how far you can see before it starts getting blurry, and then just kind of pull it. What's the furthest that it's still clear? And then you just make your correction like a quarter diopter under that. And then of course you just make sure that you're always clearing things up and active focusing, and that's kind of where your improvements come in. Never wear more correction than you need. I have to renew my driver's license coming up here in March, so I'm hoping to be able to pass my vision test without any glasses and not need any glasses while driving, or at least not be required to wear glasses while I'm driving. You know, for sure at night I'll still wear glasses until, you know, for safety reasons. But you only need to have in South Dakota 20/40 vision to pass the driver's test, so you don't have to wear glasses while you're driving. You don't have to have that restriction on your license. A few months ago, when my wife Kayleen renewed hers, I decided to go ahead and take a look into the little box thing and see what I could see, and I was unable to even tell that there were letters in the box to be seen. It was just white, bright blur. And I actually went back though about a month ago, and I was able to read them for the most part. I doubt I would have passed, but I could definitely tell there were letters, and I could probably tell what most of them were. So that's a very big improvement from, that was probably like, you know, maybe 6 months worth of improvement. And I'm hoping, you know, after renew in 2 months, that I'll be able to read it just fine, and I'll be able to get my restriction removed from my license. But if not, you know, that's not the end of the world. I'm still improving. I will definitely make a video update if that happens. I expect to be at least 95% glasses free sometime this summer, and then 2020 by 2020 is my goal. So 2020 by 2020, no more glasses ever for anything 1 year from now. That is my goal, and I guess we'll see what happens.